Hi guys, you're probably wondering, okay, why is her hair all in her hat? It looks kind of stupid. I actually feel kind of like a nun for some reason. But anyways, the only reason why I have my hair all up in her is because I'm trying to save the element of surprise for you guys before you see what my hair really looks like afterwards. So I recently over the weekend dyed my hair red, and I've been wanting to dye my hair red for quite some time now. Last week I decided to make a whole tweet about what color I should dye my hair or how I should dye my hair, and I ended up photoshopping my hair to see what it looks like. And the color red that I photoshopped onto my hair is actually the color that I really wanted, and that's the true red that I wanted to match. And now you have to keep in mind that it's really hard to match reds because there is a range of red. You could go from orange to red and then from pink to red. So this video isn't really a tutorial per se, only because, you know, dyeing your hair is pretty standard. If you want to see how I dye my hair and the steps that I go through to dye my hair, you can watch my other video, which is linked right over here. Some people will dye their hair and it'll look like orangey and weird, and some people will dye the hair and it won't show up at all. So today is just talking about like the assessment of your hair and figuring out which hair dye is good for you. And this doesn't only apply for red coloring, it also applies for other hair coloring as well. So everyone's hair is different, and there are a few things to take into account before dyeing. First is the color of your hair in its present time, either light, in between, or dark. Then you have to figure out if your hair has been pre-dyed, either from light to medium or from light to dark. Same with medium color and then dark hair color. Then you factor in time and the quality of hair dye. Hair dye has a time limit where it plateaus and stops working, meaning that your hair color will continue to change until it hits a certain time. From time 0 to the platform, you have the control of how much change you want by washing your hair out whenever. Now the quality of the hair dye depends on a few factors. The first one is how long does it stay wet when it's in your hair. The moment hair dye dries out, the chemical reaction stops working. Even on a low quality dye, you can wear a plastic bag over your head to maintain the moisture. Now the next factor is how vibrant the color is. Liquid hair dyes are not always as vibrant or as strong as cream hair dyes. The next quality factor is how long the color will stay in your hair. And the very last quality factor is how damaging the color is on your hair. The lower quality dyes will damage your hair much more than the good quality ones. So there are a few rules to keep in mind before you dye your hair. Now if you have a natural light colored hair such as blonde or dyed into a blonde hair color, the hair dye will react a lot quicker. Now if your hair was dyed into a darker color and you want to lighten it up, you'll have to remove some of that hair color before you can dye it into something else. To remove some of the hair color without over damaging it with the shock of bleach, you can try a shampoo and bleach mix from KimmikillZombies, and I will link her blog down below. Now for those of you with pre-dyed hair and have like the evil roots showing, there are things you need to consider as well. If your roots are darker than the rest of your hair and you are dyeing it into a lighter color, you must dye the roots first, then the rest of the hair. Now if you are dyeing it into a darker color, then you would want to dye the lighter parts of your hair first before you dye the roots. Same goes if your roots are lighter than the rest of your hair. If you're going lighter, you would want to dye the rest of the hair first and then the roots. But if you're going darker, then you'll want to dye the roots first and then the rest of the hair. Also keep in mind that everyone's hair is different, so always do a test strand for the color and for allergies as well. So let me walk you through how I dyed my hair. I picked up a brand called High Color by L'Oreal in the color Magenta. This is a cream color dye and you'll have to buy a separate developer for it. Now if you have a medium hair color, use a 10 or 20 developer. If you want your hair to be brighter or if you have dark hair, use a 30 or 40 developer. As always, use a saran wrap to wrap your neck or any exposed area. Mind you, the color red stains like a murder crime scene. Measure out the correct amount of developer and pour it into a non-metallic bowl. Next, I'm using the cap of the hair dye to puncture a hole into the tube, and then I squeeze it all into the bowl. For my hair length, I'm using 2 of these tubes. That also means I also double developer as well. If you have shorter hair or maybe shorter length hair, 1 tube will work just fine. Since my hair is already gold and brassy in color, to make sure that the red doesn't get orangey, I'm pouring 2 of these color corrector packets into the bowl. Now if you're dyeing your hair blonde, this is a great way to prevent your hair from looking too orangey as well. I also wrap my arms. You could wear long sleeves if you want. It's crucial to have perfect fitting gloves for this. You want to be as accurate as possible with the color red. Just like my last hair dye video, I'm going to start with my roots since it's darker than the rest of my hair color. And as far as coloring goes, I work evenly but also quickly with my hair. As you can see, I let my ends stay the same because I want a gradation in my hair color. I might eventually ombre it lighter in the future, so that's the reason why I'm leaving it for now. Next is the waiting game, and I only waited about 15 minutes for this. And then I rinsed and washed thoroughly until the water runs into a light pink color. Okie dokie, so here it is. It's super red and I feel kind of like the Little Mermaid with it for some reason. For now, I think it looks kind of cool because it's red and it fades down to like a brown. And it's just something that I'm going to keep for a little bit and see how it goes. In the next couple of days here, I'm going to do another video on how my hair color looks, if it's still going to stay as vibrant. And also I'm going to show you guys a little bit of tips and tricks on how to maintain this red hair color because it is a biz notch trying to keep it as vibrant and as red as this. So I hope this video helped you guys out a little bit. Hopefully you're daring enough to try something that is a little bit like this. If not, that's fine. I won't judge you at all. Everyone has, you know, their own tastes and their own likes and dislikes, and hopefully that this video is more of a guide for you. And if you're not confident with doing it at home, that's okay too. You can definitely go to a hairstylist. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you later. Bye!